called Deep, and it's your third LP. Now, the first single, The Line Between the Devil's Teeth, probably sounds more like Bauhaus than anything you've done in a while. Did it just turn out like that, or was it a conscious decision?
Yes, exactly, as you say. That was probably the only song that was written on site in the studio, as it were. It was not written before the recordings of the session, session recording. So it was done with the band in a live sort of way, really. We played it together. I jammed on an idea, and it just developed that way. And it did sound a bit like a song that Bauhaus did, which was In the Flat Field.
In the Flat Field, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sort of quality.
Now, presumably the title for Deep comes from the song Deep Ocean, Vast Sea. And I think you said that it's kind of like diving into life. Now, is the album less allegorical and more straightforward than your first two solo albums?
I think lyrically it's more of a direct album. It's more autobiographical, I suppose. It's more of a direct statement in a way. It's difficult to talk about albums like that, actually. I think lyrics are lyrics, and they're kind of expressions of yourself anyway at all times. But whereas the style on Love Hysteria was more in story form, if you like, as you say, like allegorical, this one's more, harking to the regular lyrical approach, I suppose. Deep is simply, it's got many connotations. It's like I kind of wanted it to sound tongue-in-cheek as well as anything else, although like it is a deep, there's a deep quality and seriousness about the album. It's not overly serious and not too, you don't need like an O-level or a degree in Peter Murphy to understand the lyrics. So there's that tongue-in-cheek quality of, oh yes, deep.
And they're offering one at Harvard now, a degree in Peter Murphy.
I know. I heard about that.
The second single from the album and the new video is Cuts You Up. Now, in this video, what are you running from?
Running from or for or to myself, possibly. No, I'm just running. I think, I wanted to run, actually, and to feel free and to be seen to be not just this enigmatic sort of studio-fied person. I wanted to have a bit of life, as it were, in the video, and that was the best way to get it. And speed also. The chorus of the song has this speed quality, kind of takes off into this vast ocean sort of sound, deep ocean, vast sea. And so there was that. We were trying to capture that. So the cut-ins are very still, and the performance, as it were, is very still and motionless, as it were. Just trying to project out of the inside rather than the outside. And the running things are the opposite of that, to express something else. But whether it works or not.
Well, let's have a look and see if it works right now. This is Peter Murphy with Cuts You Up. We'll be back with Peter Murphy a bit later. Here's Cuts You Up. Peter Murphy and so much more on the second 60 of 120 minutes. Dave Kendall with you for the second 60 of 120 minutes. Coming up, clips from Thin White Rope, Sinead O'Connor, NASA, Morrissey, Technoid, The Fuzztones, Midnight Oil, and we'll be talking with Peter Murphy. Pretty damn spiffing show, what?
Spiffing show, old chap.
Spiffing. Right now, let's take a trip down Fascination Street. Here's your mother, you see. Did that shape your songwriting?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, I was asked once about my earliest influences, and the most honest answer is the truth. I always feel that people expect you to say Mark Boland or David Bowie, you know what I mean, when you're about 18. But I think they actually shaped much earlier on, and I was trying to think of my actual earliest influence of musical input, and I have a strong memory of my mother singing to me in bed.
What was she singing? Do you remember?
Just a very old Irish song, and she'd hum to me quite eerily, actually, but it was actually quite very wonderful. It was quite, and she'd hum for hours. I mean, like I remember going into her bedroom as kids do when I was about 4, and she'd just tickle me around here like this. It's nice, isn't it? And she'd relax me into sing me these lullabies. They were often hummed as well because you didn't remember the words, and I think that had an influence on me.
Now, do you sing to your daughter?
All the time. She sings to me, actually. She's singing Turkish songs. She's actually very into my album, which is due to her listening to it often, I think. And she insists on hearing that about constantly, hourly, and she gets upset if I play any other music. you know, she knows that that's what she wants, which is quite...
That's a loyal daughter for you.
Loyal daughter.
Well, she must be very excited right now because your new album, Deep, has been #1 on the alternative chart for 6 weeks.
She's aware of it. She's 2 years of age. She's certainly aware of it.
She keeps tabs on it.
She knows what CHR radio stations have been added. AR radio stations. She's very sharp.
Well, that album's been #1 for 6 weeks already. Now, the record is actually 8 weeks, and that record is held by Kate Bush, Robin Hitchcock, and some guys by the name of 8 weeks of the record. You're 6 weeks. You're 6 weeks. Just 2 more to go. But the other band that holds this 8-week record is Love and Rockets. Now, do you have a friendly rivalry with them at all?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we're very respectable people. No, we're great friends. We respect each other very much. We don't really talk about each other's music here because we don't see each other. But I think it's marvellous what's happened to them. It's great. Yeah.
They're doing pretty well.
They are, aren't they? #3 with So Alive, about a girl and how it makes him feel, or them feel so alive. It's quite interesting.
Is that the kind of success that you're looking for?
No, I'm not looking for it. I think it will come if the music's good enough, you know, basically. I think it'll come.
Oh, it's very generous of you.
What?
Well, not to imply that maybe they deliberately went a little more commercial. And that's
no, they haven't. You know, you hear that album, Love and Rockets, you know, called Love and Rockets. I don't think it is at all commercial. I think, you know, Danny Ash's guitar's becoming even more, you know, more reminiscent of what he was doing with us as a band. And I think he's a great guitarist, and I think they're really talented. Yeah, they're still finding their feet in certain areas. I think they're starting to come together more now. I think, you know, they used producers before on their earlier albums, and this last album they produced it themselves in a very small studio, very cheap studio. I like that. I like, you know, the fact that they did a really quick, well, not a fast album, but it was done in a way that was not worrying about a polished sound, if you like. Yes, they did exactly what they wanted to and got a hit. So I think that's a real mark of success in a way. They must be really pleased with it.
Well, your new album, Deep, you're going out on tour in support of that. Now, on this tour, are you planning to do any Bauhaus tunes?
Maybe, yeah.
You haven't finalised the set list yet?
Oh, yeah, you know, the set list is always open. I think there's like a basic structure, which is obviously like around Deep and around the new material, but, you know, there's always a moment where you know that an audience really wants something from you, and sometimes that's a Bauhaus number. And when I play them, I play them in a way that says that this song is happening now. It's not just like a retrospective trip down memory lane. You know, the band I've got can really like interpret those songs in a new way, and I think it's like exciting one for an audience and exciting for me to play. There's some very good songs in Bauhaus. Yeah. We had a good repertoire.
Well, you're out on the road with 9 Inch Nails, so that should be a great show. And good luck with that tour. Thanks very much for coming by.
Cheers, mate.
And right now, let's take a look at a video from Peter's last album, Love Hysteria. This is All Night Long.